Alright, let's try this again. What's going on, everyone? Mike with This Old Hot Rod. Hope everybody's doing good. Videos are kind of spotty these days because I'm just busy with life, busy with work, and I'm trying to kind of make everything fit, figure out a balance. You guys know what I mean. So, wanted to kind of just throw out a quick video this afternoon. It's Tuesday, it's after work, just got home. Had a great weekend at the Fitchburg Swapmeet. Well, I say weekend, it was Sunday. But I had the opportunity to go pick a local hot rodder's estate, or his collection, let's say, on Friday. Got a call from a friend of mine who I've known for years, local guy. Not a hot rodder, but he has a friend who's a hot rod guy. And unfortunate circumstances, he's forced to kind of thin out some of his collection at the moment. So I had the opportunity to go down and take a look and take a walk through his shop, and I was able to buy some pretty cool things. So most of what I'm going to show you here, you can kind of see one of the things in the background. Most of the things that I'm going to show you are the items that I purchased from him. I bought two things at Fitchburg this year. It was an amazing swap meet. So anyone that didn't make it out to Fitchburg, early Ford Model A swap meet, you guys definitely missed out if you weren't able to make it. That's a bummer. That's definitely the one to go to up here in Massachusetts. The Model A Club puts on the event, and typically it's the go-to event. This year especially, there was so much stuff that was brought to the event. A lot of guys, a lot of people bought some amazing stuff. Got some really good buys on it. And I brought half a truckload full of things, and then I brought my buddy Sean with me. He brought the other half, filled up the other half of my truck. So he sold a bunch of stuff, I sold a bunch of stuff. We both bought stuff, so we ended up coming home with more stuff than we even brought there, which is, I guess, pretty typical in this hobby. So, with no further ado, let's get into some of the things that I bought and kind of give you a description of what I bought and the reason why I bought it. So let's get going here. First things first, because it's right in front of me on the table. I bought this like narrow radiator shroud. I thought I could use this on my 30 coupe. The reason being is I sometimes have cooling issues on that car, and people keep telling me you need to build a shroud. Well, I thought this being so narrow with so much going on in that car, I don't have tons of room. I actually kind of dry fit it last night when I got home after I bought it. It fits perfectly. And it's brand new, it's never been used. I don't know if this would have gone on like a Model T style car or something, but very fortunately that's going to fit. And it looks like it's been hanging around his shop for quite a while. It's brand new, but it's almost like it's old chrome at this point. I was able to pick up another set of F1 shock mounts. If you guys don't know, these were used on Ford F1 pickups. 48 to 52, I believe, is the year. So these would have been front shock mounts, the upper shock mounts. They would mount on the side of the frame rail. And then the top of the shock, the eyelet, would go on that portion of the shock mount. I was able to pick up a set of these. These are getting harder and harder to find, and they're getting more and more expensive, literally by the day. So whenever you get a chance to find a set of these, grab them, especially if they're reasonably priced. I also was able to pick up a pair of roundback spindles. So these are early Ford spindles. I think the main thing on spindles when you're going to buy a set of spindles, the very first thing you want to look at is always the threads. Make sure that the threads are good, because a lot of times people pound the ends of the spindle with a hammer and it mashes out, or it mushrooms the threads. And then also the bearing surfaces. You want to make sure the bearing surfaces are good. These ones appear to be good. The threads are definitely in good shape. No issues with the threads. And the bearings they're still caked with old grease. So that's always a good sign too, that the bearings weren't run dry. Picked up a decent headlight bar. This is actually the second one I've bought in, I think, 2 weeks. I think I have another one around here that I just bought. Oh, I bought it at I bought the other one I purchased at the Stafford Springs swap meet a couple weeks ago. The reason why I like these is I have a bunch of different sets of headlights, and headlights are kind of always hard to store. So I have hooks up on the walls, on the metal, and I'm able to hook these headlight bars on the hooks and actually mount my headlights to the headlight bars. So I have a place to hold this plus the headlights. Just comes in handy as like a holder. And for 10 bucks, kind of crazy not to buy it, you know. Found this really cool old BF Goodrich tube patching outfit number 3. It was $1, so I grabbed it. Got this hose clamp, little hose clamp sign. I think it was like a Bowers or something like that, seal fast, self-tightening hose clamps. It was 15 bucks, bought it off a local guy the other day. I thought that was pretty cool. This is one of my better finds. Bought this from the gentleman down the street. This is what's known as a Stuart Warner, I think a Navigator panel. I originally thought it was a Hollywood panel. I believe those are bigger. But this is what's known as a Navigator panel. I've never actually been able to buy one, like personally. I've never actually even seen one in person for sale, to be honest with you. So I was thrilled when I stumbled across this. I was really happy. It's complete. It's in really nice shape. I don't know that the gauges work. It's got a VDO volts gauge. I don't know what type of gauge that is. I don't know what that is. It's got an old Stuart Warner oil pressure gauge, and it has a Stuart Warner tack up to 3,500 RPM. So this is just, it's electric tacks. This is just a really cool old panel. I may end up running this tack in the T. So I got a really good deal on this. So this is one of my prized possessions. I like the look of it. I am probably going to clean it up just a touch, but it's going to sit on the shelf just the way it is for now. I was able to pick up this old HJ scoop. I don't know that you can see inside, but you can kind of see right back here. I don't know. Grab a light. I don't know that you can see back there, but in the very back of the scoop, there's a circle with HJ right there. So these are HJ scoops, or this is an HJ scoop. It was the only scoop I was able to find at the gentleman's shop, so I grabbed that. I actually also bought a dropped headlight bar that was also an HJ part, HJ dropped headlight. I gave that to my buddy that went with me to Fitchburg. I owed him a little bit of money, and he said he wanted it, so he took it. I was able to pick up this really nice Stromberg 97. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's not focusing. There you go. So I was able to pick up this beautiful carburetor. It looks like it was just recently gone through, but I'll go through it also and make sure it's good to go. But it looks like it's pretty much ready to go. Picked up these carb base adapters. So these adapters are 4-hole to 3-hole. These actually come in handy. A lot of times when you set these carburetors down, they don't always sit flat on the ground, depending on what you have for linkage on them. You could bolt them right onto these bases and then sit them right down. I don't have an intake with 4 bolts, with the 4 bolt holes, so I didn't really need them, but I threw them in the box and kind of bundled up a deal together, and I was able to buy those from the guy also. I also bought, when I was rummaging through the shelves, whenever you go into someone's shop and you see a box that says S, Stromberg, and it's got something in it, it usually means that they bought brand new Strombergs and took the old ones off and put them in the box. And that's exactly what this guy did. Check this out. Bought 2 of these. Beautiful. They still smell like gas. I don't know how long they were off his truck, But these also, I don't know why this thing, there we go. These are also big logo 97s. So I got 2 of these. Now those are the only carburetors that I run. I don't run Holley 94s. When I find Holley 94s, I usually give them away. So I was able to buy both of these carburetors from the gentleman. These aren't something he's going to use again. He purchased brand new carburetors and put them on his truck, his hot rod. So these were just sitting on the shelf. And he was happy to move them along to a guy like me who doesn't mind spending the time going through them and making sure they're good to go. Alright, so I got those. So the 2 carburetors, the extra carburetor, the carb bases, the scoop. This the panel. Get out of the way. Alright. Found this old chrome fuel bowl. Just things like this. I like to have things like this. You can just put them on cars and things like that stand out. Found a couple old interior lights, map lights. 2 different styles. This one actually extends. That's how you turn it on. You actually turn it. I don't know if you can see. So you push it in and then turn it and it turns on. So that's really cool. This is just a different style one. I always grab those interior lights. Those are nice to have. Found a brand new brake switch. This is just a manual brake switch. I like using the manual ones versus the electronic pressure switches. I found 2 old rear view mirrors. This one's kind of different because it has the holes on top and bottom versus this one side to side. So I'll grab those. A couple of brand new ground straps. I use those on the Roadster. And a clamshell, a torque tube clamshell or coupling. I bought those from the gentleman, and then I also bought this. This really cool Marvel mystery oil rack. And then all these oils and stuff and cleaning agents came in it. For engine tune-up, Marvel mystery oil increases power and pickup, steps up performance. It's just really cool. It's got neat colors on it. Even came with a thing of mystery oil in it. So I thought that was really neat. Like I said, it came with all this stuff in it. Like I said, I'd never seen one of those and I wanted to grab that. And then in this box, so if you look at this box, I was reading it closely. You read guide lamps, United Service or United Motors Service. So universal seal beam headlamp. However, these weren't the lights that I thought were going to be in there. It actually kind of worked out. These are old chrome 6-inch lights instead of 7-inch lights. These are the exact same headlights that I have on my 34 coupe. These headlights work really well with the stanchions, the aluminum stanchions that you see on a lot of early hot rods versus the larger headlights. You know, like the regular lights that I have on these cars. Like these here. My 34 headlights, like I said, are 6-inch. And it's actually a big difference. So These will stay in the box. I'll tuck these away. I have a few other sets of stanchions up on the shelf up there that I'll probably end up using at some point on another build. But I was happy to find those. That was a surprise. Even though I was hoping for the original ones that were in there, but they weren't in there. So, a couple more things. So the other big item, one of the other big items that I bought off of this gentleman, the second I walked into this guy's shop, I saw it hanging on the wall, the right-hand side, was this. This is an old 32 shell, original 32 shell, that was cut down. You can see where they chopped it down here on the bottom. This would have been on like a channeled car or a tea bucket, something like that. Whoever did the job did an amazing job on it. Still has all the original bars on it. They were chrome at one point, because I can see it flaking off. But I'm going to leave it just the way it is. It's a cool old purple. Inside's blue. And it's beautiful metal. But that's an old original grill shell. I actually measured it. It's the exact same height as the grill shell on my 30 coupe. So I basically wasn't leaving his shop unless I was able to buy this. So I was able to bundle up a bunch of things on my first trip there. This was included in that bundle, as were the carburetors, the vintage navigator gauge cluster, and a couple other pieces. So if you guys follow me on social media, you saw the pictures I posted. I actually dragged these home in my hot rod, so that was kind of cool. I was out picking hot rod parts in my hot rod. So that's it for the first round of items that I got from his shop. So I'm going to show you what I bought at Fitchburg, then we're going to take a walk outside. So I bought an old chrome voltage regulator off my buddy Jay Greco from Connecticut. He was blowing out deals. He was giving everybody deals. So I paid $4 for this old chrome voltage regulator. I only wanted the cover, but if in the event it actually works, which it probably does, that's even better. So for $4, you can't go wrong. So I was really pumped to get that. And then my only other purchase from Fitchburg Swapmeet is this. Now there's a lot of haters out there, because I seem to be the one that finds these, but everybody had the same opportunity I did. I was just the one that bought it. I bought this. Another original 32 grill shell. It's got the horse collar on it, the bezel, porcelain, original insert, the grill bars. I mean, they're perfect. There's not a single bent grill bar on this grill shell. It's unbelievable. So the metal's perfect, no rust, no rot, just surface rust. I bought this off of my friend Mark Rogers, the older gentleman, has been hot rodding a long time. This was a friend of his. He brought this with him, and he told me that it was hanging on his friend's barn wall for 50 years. I was able to purchase this. This was my only other purchase at Fitchburg. So this is gonna make its way up onto the wall, as is the chopped 32 grill shell that I bought off the gentleman down the street. So this and the voltage regulator were the only two things that I bought at Fitchburg this year. I spent most of my day selling at my booth, but I was able to score this, and I was glad I did. I thought about running it on the T, but I already have that one all said and done, and it just doesn't make sense to do anything to this one to make it work, because I'll be able to save it for another day. The only downfall on this grill is someone at some point had cut the very chin off the bottom, and I don't know why, but I have a chin from another grill shell that, just like I did on the one on the T, I'm going to weld it onto it, add it to it. And besides that, that's it. That's the only thing wrong with this grill shell. Other than that, it's perfect. I mean, it's still beautiful, but it's got that one little thing wrong with it. It's got the original chrome stainless band that goes around it. This grill shell once was blue, it looks like a dark blue. But all the paint has since worn off of it. So like I said, this will make its way up onto the wall. You'll see that in some future videos. That along with the purple grill shell. So that's it. That's what I bought over the past few days, minus a couple of Model A frames. So let's take a walk outside and I'll show you the frames that I bought. Alright guys, so the next thing I want to show you that I bought from this gentleman down the street were 4 Model A chassis. There's one specifically that I want to show you that's a little bit different. I wasn't aware of it at first. Someone on Instagram pointed it out to me, told me there was some differences with that frame because it was an earlier frame. So it was a late 27, early 28 model frame. It's known as an AR frame. So that was something that I learned today. But I want to show you, go over one of the frames real quick and show you the condition of it. And just tell you what my plans are. And show you some of the other things that I was able to get from the gentleman. This is one of the Model A frames that I bought from the guy. One of the frame horn on the left side over here is a little bit banged up. On the driver's side, the front frame horn's got a little bit of a tweak to it, but not bad. Otherwise, this frame's pretty good. You can see where there was a small crack on the rear cross member, so they plated it with some 1/4-inch plate. That's fine with me. Seems to be nice and straight. There's really minimal pitting on this frame, which is really nice. This second frame that I have here, this second frame here is a little bit rough, but all the cross members are there. There was a little chunk taken out of the frame underneath, but someone kind of put like a little bit of a plate inside on the frame rail. A little bit of a crack right there in the front frame horn. Cross members are all good, nothing's cut. This one has the brake rods in it, but this one also had a crack in the back and it was plated. Instead of being plated front and back, it was plated across the top. So that was interesting. This is the frame that I wanted to show you. So this would be the AR frame. And the reason that the gentleman pointed that out to me was, let me move this other frame real quick. I'll show you. Now this frame also has a little bit of a bad area. So you can see right on the passenger side transmission mount. It's a little thin right here, right where the cowl foot would have sat. It's a little thin, a little bit rusted right around the transmission mount. This side's not, the driver's side's not too bad, but the rest of the frame is in great shape. So I'll show you what makes this one a little bit different. So what makes this frame a little bit different first is the front cross member. You can see this plate sticking up here. That was the motor mount. Instead of the motor mount being different like on the later frames, the motor mount was here. So this plate typically will get cut off for when a hot rod's being built. So if there's anybody out there that's looking for an early AR Model A chassis, late 27, early 28, I have one, and I'm willing to let it go. I have a 16-foot frame table that probably over the next 2 to 3 weeks I'm going to drag into my shop, mount one of the really good chassis that I have onto it, get everything set up in place so I know things are exactly straight and where they're supposed to be. I'm going to take a couple of these bad frames, cut the bad sections of frame out, and I'm going to replace that. So if anybody has any interest in an early Model A chassis, this one will be for sale, and maybe one more, but I'll show you the next one. So this is an early Model A chassis, late 27, early 28. And also I'll show you what else makes it a little bit different. This cross member is different versus where in typical Model A chassis you have 2 large holes here for the brake rods. This chassis only has one here on the front. Actually, I don't know if that's for the brake rods or not. It only has one hole instead of two holes on each side. One hole in each side. So that makes it different, and then also the rear cross member is also just a little bit different. All right, so also the rear cross members, where you can see these later Model A's have a real big lip on the back, and it continues all the way down and then steps in. This one is actually a little bit bigger. This one here, same thing, has this big flange. On the earlier Model A's, they don't. So that's another way to tell the difference. It's the same on both sides. Goes down to almost nothing. So this is an early 28. So this is a late 27, early 28 chassis. So you can get a good look at that front cross mount. I've never owned a frame with this front cross mount, but I knew there was something special about it and something different about it. You can also see there's two ribs here as well, whereas these frames don't have those. And you can see the two large holes. You can see there's only one on that one. So essentially, I think that's it. I think that's the major differences in these frames. I think there was also a difference on where the radiator mounted. I think these are actually higher versus these ones that are a little bit lower, a little bit flatter. I'm going to drop this frame down real quick. This is one of the nicer frames that I bought. Same thing here. This is, see how it steps down here and then it goes down? You can see where it's recessed into the cross member. These are actually elevated. So that's one of the major differences. And you can see this one's recessed as well. So I believe this frame and the other dark frame on black frame on the bottom are 30-31. That's a 28-29, a later 28-29, and this bottom one's a late 27, early 28 chassis. It's flat. You can see it's flat. Like I said, this front cross member is just completely different. So 4 different frames, 3 different front cross members. And a few of them are for sale. Alright, also included in my frame purchase were several Model A cross members. So this is a 28-29 front cross member, a late 28-29 front cross member. So that would essentially be the same as that frame. And I was able to get 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cross members. So within that deal, I was also able to get 5 rear cross members, all Model A. I haven't tried to figure out what years they are, but essentially they're basically the same. So a few of those will be for sale. So if anybody needs a Model A cross member, reach out to me, let me know, shoot me an email. I can send you some pictures. Probably hang on to one for myself for the future, just to have it. I ran into a situation a while ago where I needed one and didn't have one, so it'd be nice to at least have one. But so I'll have 4 for sale. I have that extra front cross member for sale, and I was able to also pick up in that deal 2 2 Was also able to pick up 2 middle cross members. You can see the holes in these also. And so if you know anyone or yourself, you guys are interested in a couple Model A frames, or if you know anyone who's interested in a Model A frame, I have a few available. I have 2 more on the rack that are behind me. Those are in decent shape. I actually recently just bought a 3031 two-door sedan body. It's a little bit crunchy on the bottom 6 inches, so I'm going to be doing some work on that coming up pretty soon. Probably just do it after hours, not on the channel, just because I want to be able to kind of pump it out quick. It's just a flip item, and it's probably going to go on one of those frames. So if you're interested, let me know. It's a 3031 two-door sedan. It'll be on a Z Model A rear chassis, Model A chassis. It's probably going to have a 4-inch channel because the floors are bad anyways. Sub rails are kind of shot, so I'm going to probably rebuild the floor structure, do just a slight channel, the frame height. Not going to chop it, not going to do any of that stuff. Doors are halfway decent. Just picked up a visor for the car, and I also picked up the panels that go over the doors. So just trying to put together a fair amount of stuff for that car so I can move it along. So if anyone's interested, you want to see some pictures of it or whatnot, I haven't put up any photos on Instagram, but if you're interested, let me know. Reach out, shoot me an email to thisoldhotrod@gmail.com and let me know. Alright everyone, so that's going to be it for me. Just wanted to do a quick wrap up of my weekend picking at this gentleman's house not far from me in Middleborough, and then also a couple of items that I was able to grab from Fitchburg. Didn't do any videos. Like I said, I spent most of my day at my booth at Fitchburg, just selling my stuff that I didn't need anymore, or just trying to hustle up some money to go spend down at this other gentleman's place. So if anyone's in the market for a Model A chassis and you're in the Northeast, reach out, let me know. A couple of them are nice. I'll probably hang on to 1 or 2 of them, but I don't really have any need to keep all of them, and I don't want to hoard all of them. I'd like to get these back out into the people's hands that need them. So if you're in the market and you're looking for a Model A chassis, reach out, let me know. My email's thisoldhotrod@gmail.com. And actually picked up a few other things. I got a full set of 16-inch early Ford wheels. Forgot to show you guys those. Those are tucked away in the shipping container. And I think, like I said, a couple other things maybe, but that's the gist of it. So just wanted to do a quick video and show you guys what I'm up to. Haven't touched the T in a few days, just been busy at work, and I was gone all weekend. So looking forward to getting back on that when work kind of slows down a little bit and life starts playing a little fairer. So that's it. Appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for following along. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, comment on the video, tell me what you think about some of the things that I got. Like I said, a few of the items, keep an eye out. If you follow me on Instagram, keep an eye out on my parts page, TOHR_vintage_parts. So TOHR vintage parts. That's my for sale page, my parts page. That's where I sell my parts. So if you haven't already, give that page a follow on Instagram. And just keep an eye out. I'm going to be posting up some stuff coming up. I got another gentleman's property to go look at coming up probably in the next week or 2. He's got a lot of items that he's looking to get rid of as well. Like getting a little bit older. He said he knows he's not going to finish all the projects that he has going, and he'd like to move them along to people that are maybe just a little bit younger and a little more ambitious. So thanks everyone. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.